What's up, everyone? Sebastian here with What's up, everyone? Sebastian here with PressStartSeb. Naruto has achieved a great deal of popularity as a result of the unbelievable cast of characters with unique jutsu options. Each character is dramatically different, and in that variance comes a lot of the intrigue. However, with Shinobi Striker on the horizon, the question arises of how this competitive 4v4 online game seeks to balance the jutsus. Namely, how will Shinobi Striker handle ninja dogs and the puppet master jutsu? I remember watching Naruto Part 1 and thinking that Kiba and Akimaru were the absolute tits. Kiba's teamwork with Akimaru was awesome to see, and it also helped that Akimaru reminded me of my dogs at the time. But when I saw the first trailer for Shinobi Striker being touted as this competitive online game, kind of like an esport almost, I was immediately curious as to how they're going to handle characters whose main draw was the fact that they had like an assistant character. For this video, I want to refer specifically to Kiba and to Kankuro. For those of you who are unfamiliar with Akimaru, well, first, go walk into some traffic. But also, he is Kiba's ninja dog companion and a big factor in his jutsu and his fighting style. As for Kankuro, he is a puppet master specialist who uses threads of chakra to keep distance from his opponents while he manipulates these evil puppets from hell. So Shinobi Striker is going to have to be able to maintain balance in their abilities, as it essentially operates as a fifth combatant on a field in a 4v4 game mode. But before I get into how specifically to do this, I want to briefly speculate in regard to what each of these characters will look like in terms of their class and their jutsu. For Kiba, I figure he'll have an attack type. This one caused me a bit of trouble as I feel like there's already a large number of attack characters, but he just doesn't really fit in any of the other categories. For his jutsu, I imagine it'll be a fang over fang with tracking similar to Kakashi's lightning blade or Naruto's Rasengan, as well as maybe a dynamic marking where Akimaru P somewhere and allows you to track your enemy, kind of like the whole Byakugan effect. For his ultimate jutsu, this one seems kind of obvious. It would be that huge dog form. We've already seen in the trailer that Choji can use his expansion jutsu to make himself huge, so it just seems like a reasonable choice. Kankuro, however, is a bit more difficult. Likely a ranged character with jutsu that could be maybe poison needles that lower enemies' health over time, or a barrage of different puppets. His ultimate jutsu could be an Iron Maiden jutsu that functions like a one-hit KO should your enemy wind up being trapped in the puppet. So regular combat and traversal can range for each of these characters, with Kiba maybe possibly riding Akimaru after a few steps, or simply the companion dog or companion puppet is not seen until a melee combo begins, and then kind of summon in, help with the assault, and then disappear. I don't know how they're going to be able to balance this in such a wide environment. In the Storm games, there was the benefit of these intimate levels with very clear boundaries, but considering Shinobi Striker has a lot of traversal options, and verticality in terms of running on the walls and stuff like that, having the puppets trail behind you could become tiresome and create an advantage or even a disadvantage depending on how they handle it. Now my proposal would be to have each character operate in tandem, so Akimaru just mirrors Kiba's movements next to him or behind him. But unfortunately, this obviously begs the question of whether or not the puppets or ninjas assistants will have their own unique hitbox that will operate on a separate cooldown to decide whether they're available to be of assistance. So kind of like a jutsu, you can use it, and then the cooldown comes in to let you know when you can use it again. So essentially, each character will have their own health bar, and if they get too much damage, then they're unable to be used until the cooldown regenerates. That seems like a way that's kind of consistent with the game's design that could make handling these two things more reasonable. Additionally, Akimaru and the puppet, as I said earlier, may not be on the field at all times and only present during jutsu moves, which makes me even more curious as to whether or not the created characters could equip ninja dogs or puppets, because essentially they are jutsu moves and we can learn jutsu from mentors. The questions continue to pile on, and I'm stoked to see what Shinobi Striker has in store. Whether or not I'm correct is a matter to be seen, but that's it for me. I want to know what you guys recommend as a feasible way to handle the ninja dogs or the puppet masters. I know my option isn't the most ideal, but I can't really think of a balanced approach that makes this game a candidate for really online competitive game modes. But I suppose that's why I simply play the games and I don't make them. But thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I'll see ya.